what is the most exciting brand to you right now? Can be a manufacturer, but it doesn't have to be, is what I'm saying.
This is a really hard question for me. It's because there's a couple that I think are really interesting. MV Agusta, Moto Guzzi, CF Moto, Aprilia. It's the smaller companies that are interesting to me.
And I think it would be, right? The bigger guys aren't going to be taking big swings and leaps because they don't have to.
It's unfortunate that KTM had the financial troubles because in a normal year, you'd be saying KTM.
I think you and I have said for years that KTM's like our favorite brand.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, it's hard not to love the audacity.
Yeah.
Right? Of like these really outlandish, sometimes horrible looking designs. But I love that someone's out there just taking a swing at it and doing something totally ridiculous. They really do have a like little brother picking a fight with their big brother. And in this case, the big brother's always Honda, right? They've kind of got this mentality to them that I loved. But then in the last year and a half, it sort of was like the cover got pulled back and you realized how totally mismanaged they were.
Right, which is unfortunate.
It all comes apart because all of the money men, right? All of the executives, all of the guys making all the financial decisions totally botched it. But all the creatives, all the engineers, they didn't have anything to do with that.
You have the Germans, right? And we think of like BMW and Porsche and German engineering. And then you think of like Italian engineering and you have like Ferrari, Ducati, whatever, Lamborghini. And Austria has always split the difference, right? Like it's kind of in between the two and it's a little bit of both. And KTM seemed to exemplify that beautifully, right? Because you had this kind of German, really pragmatic, function over form juxtaposed with like a little bit of Italian eccentricity and like we're going to make a 1300cc dirt bike with knobbly tires.
Well, and then they would do outlandish things like, hey, we're really good at bikes and we're really good at fast things. What if we make kind of a little mini go-kart / supercar for fun, just for fun?
Right. Yeah. And it was cool.
Yeah. And it's beautifully engineered. And then it's also beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so now this turned into a love letter to KTM, but I can't say KTM now because I feel like they've totally,
and we don't know where it's going to end up. Right. Like,
and maybe it all comes good. And maybe this Bajaj, I don't know how you say it exactly, but the Indian ownership group, maybe they basically infuse it with a bunch of cash and keep it as this prestige brand. I hope that's what happens.
Because they became I remember when the first 690 Duke came out and it was the goofiest looking thing you ever saw. And we all fell in love with it. As soon as you rode, you had a version of it.
I had the 690 SM. I love that bike.
Oh my gosh. They were a joy to ride. Those Dukes were just the ultimate hooligan machine. You would never wear out a front tire because it never touched the ground.
Everything about it was like their whole like ready to race mantra. It was like, it wasn't ready to race. It was ready to cause trouble. Like it was ready to maybe send you to jail.
Like you're ready to race.
Even their advertisements, because I remember when I got mine, the advertisement, I can still remember the ad. It was shot like a Michael Bay action movie.
Oh, right.
And it was this like getaway scene of this like a black 690 SM and an orange 690 SM chasing each other in the scene.
Oh, I remember that.
And one guy like jumps the roundabout and it's the whole thing was nuts. You're like, what brand condones this? Only KTM. Yeah.
And I love that about him. I loved that. Yeah. And I hope we don't lose
I hope we get it back.
So what brand is most exciting to you? What's the one that's,
what
what's
did
your
you pick?
I don't know if I have a hard time picking. I think I might like Moto Guzzi is interesting, but they're also too entrenched in tradition. And I think that's holding them back. The CF Moto is doing some really crazy cool stuff, but there's also that like Chinese element of like going a little too fast, right? The quality is still a little dubious because they move so quickly. MV Agusta, they make some of the most beautiful. We talked about one of those last week. We had a viewer who was curious about one. I think they're gorgeous, but they're also kind of unobtainable for a lot of us because like
getting services.
Yeah, the dealer network, right? Oh, I'm not going to get a Ducati because their dealer network is just too darn big. You know, like kind of a thing. So it's the bike that's most interesting probably would have to fall on Aprilia because they have the most potential right now. but I don't know if I have an answer. I don't know if that's a
I think
real
that's an answer. That's all right.
So where would you go?
I think if I had to pick a manufacturer right now, I am fascinated by CF Moto.
Mm.
I agree with
They're
you.
taking big swings, and you got to
man.
appreciate that.
The stuff that they're coming out with, like what we saw at ICMA, however you pronounce
ICMA?
it.
Yeah,
ICMA, yeah. What we saw at the last show, they had a new entry in every category.
Right. Their adventure bike, I was really smitten with their adventure bike.
Their adventure bike looks brilliant. Their super bike looks brilliant.
Yeah,
their entry
V4.
level looks
Come on, they're taking on a V4? Yeah.
So like in every category, I'm watching them go all the way to the end of the scale, and they're doing a brilliant job of it, at least on surface level, right?
Yeah, and I guess because I have some inside information on CF Moto, I'm a little, I just hope they don't put the cart before the horse, if we're going to say it that way.
Well, but I guess my thought on this is they're going to, right? They're going to put the cart before the horse. They're going to bite off more than they can chew. And this first little round of bikes, it's not going to hit the mark perfect. And I know that. But we saw this same thing. If you go look at the history books, we saw the same thing when Japan started making.
Oh, yeah. Yamaha, the piano company, came up out of nowhere and started sponsoring MotoGP. And then all of a sudden, King Kenny.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And
that's
like
a great
the
analog.
first swing at it is a total swing, and it's not going to hit the mark exactly. But the second go around, they're going to be right there.
Yeah.
So this, like the easiest one to point to for me, because it's going to be, we're going to have such a great way to compare it, is when they first go to World Superbike with that new V4.
I can't wait.
They're going to. I don't. They haven't announced when, but they're absolutely going to.
Yeah, I hope they do.
You don't build something like that without.
You're like gonna go embarrass some.
You're here to go. You're here for a fight. Like you showed up ready. So, but that they're going to go out there and they're going to get a bloody nose, and they're going to be at the back of the grid, and they're not going to do well the first year or two or three or whatever, but they're going to get it figured out, right? The speed that they're going and stuff, and the effort that they're putting behind it, they're going to get it figured out, and they're going to be impressive.
Now, here's something I think people need to remember, because like China gets a really bad rap, and not for bad reason.
Sure.
But I'm old enough to remember when that was Japan, that, you know, when we would go, like the junk tools would all say made in Japan.
Right.
And there's even a gag in that in one of the Back to the Future movies where, you know, Doc Brown holds up the circuit board and he goes, "Oh, I see why this failed. It says right here, made in Japan." And Marty goes, no, that's where all the best stuff comes from. Yeah. Right. And you look at like the constant improvement and the, you know, they have the resources, and I think now they're making more solar panels than anybody else, and their solar panels are lasting 4 times as long as anybody else's.
It's just that we've seen this play out before, and I think we're going to watch it play out again.
And if I live long enough, India will come next.
Right.
Yeah. Like it'll be, India is going to be the really cheap stuff, and all of a sudden India, like it's, and then someone will fall off the list, because England was a superpower for a long time, and now they have the superpower blues, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, to me, that's the most interesting brand right now. Like, I'm just fascinated to see what CF Moto does next.
I like that they're taking the big risks, right? And they're big enough to make them, well, heck, they are making them affordable. There's several people who do our track days with us.
Yeah.
You know, Zoe, if you're listening, I hope you are. Her little CF Moto has been a freaking superstar for years out there. I think 3 years now her bike's been out there.